It was the coldest night anyone could remember, the kind of cold that didn't just bite the skin, it cut straight into the soul. Inside a small roadside diner, a woman named Emma Hale poured steaming coffee with trembling hands, watching through the frosted window as a line of freezing soldiers stumbled toward her door. She didn't know their names. She didn't know their mission. She just knew they were freezing, starving, and human. So she made one decision. She refused to charge them a single dollar. She thought kindness was harmless. She thought compassion couldn't possibly bring trouble. But at sunrise, when she walked outside with a cup of coffee in her hand, the road was blocked, military trucks surrounded her diner, and armed officers lined her street. Everyone thought Emma had done something wrong. But the real reason the army shut down her street was something no one, especially Emma, could have imagined. Snow hammered against the tin roof of Emma's diner, the neon sign flickering hot meals open late like a tiny heartbeat in the middle of a frozen wilderness. Emma stood behind the counter, apron stained, hair tangled from a long shift, but her eyes held a soft warmth, one of the few warm things left that night. At around 2 a.m., the bell above the door rang so softly she almost missed it. Then she looked up. A group of soldiers, cold, exhausted, covered in frost, filed into the diner. Their faces were gray, their breaths shaky. A young soldier nearly collapsed as he reached a booth. Emma rushed to them instantly. "You boys look like you're walking ghosts," she said, sliding 2 coffee pots onto the table. "Drink. Now." The team leader, a tall soldier with snow clinging to his eyelashes, shook his head. "Ma'am, we can't pay. Supply trucks got delayed. We shouldn't even be inside." Emma waved him off. "Not on my watch. Sit. Eat. No one freezes on my property." She hustled into the kitchen, preparing soup, grilled sandwiches, anything hot she could manage. The soldiers ate like they hadn't tasted food in days. Some of them were so cold they could barely hold a spoon. As she refilled coffees, Emma noticed something off. The leader winced every time he moved. "You're hurt," she said quietly. He froze. The other soldiers exchanged uneasy glances. "It's nothing," he whispered. Emma placed a firm hand on the table. "Lift your jacket." Reluctantly, he did. Beneath the layers, Emma saw bruising that didn't come from cold or accidents. It was the mark of someone who had pushed himself long past human limits. She cleaned the wounds, wrapped them in warm cloth, and said, "You're not going back out there. Not until your blood is running warm again." The soldier swallowed hard. "Why are you doing this for us?" Emma smiled softly. "Because someday, someone might need to help my son the way I'm helping you." Their eyes softened. The room grew quiet. And in that moment, Emma became more than a waitress, she became their shelter. By 4 a.m., the storm calmed. The soldiers stood, forming a quiet line in front of her counter. Their leader placed a small medal on the surface. "You earned this tonight. You saved us." Emma pushed it back. "You keep it. Just come back alive." They left with warm bodies, warm hearts. But as the door closed behind them, a cold chill settled inside Emma, not from the weather, but from something deeper. A strange feeling. A warning. A fear she couldn't explain. At sunrise, Emma stepped outside with a steaming cup of coffee. The snow glittered under the new light, but something was wrong. Terribly wrong. The road wasn't just quiet. It was blocked. Massive military trucks formed a barricade across the street. Armed soldiers patrolled the sidewalks. Officers shouted orders. Neighbors peeked through curtains, afraid to step outside. Emma stared, heart pounding. An officer spotted her. "You, stay where you are!" Emma froze as he approached, boots crunching through the snow. "What is going on?" she asked. "This area is sealed," the officer said. "Emergency protocol." Emma felt heat rise in her chest. "Did something happen? Is someone hurt?" He didn't answer. Instead, he lifted a folder. "Emma Hale? Owner of Emma's Diner?" "Yes." "You served a unit of our soldiers last night?" Emma nodded slowly. They were freezing. They hadn't eaten. I did what anyone would. That unit, the officer said, lowering his voice, wasn't supposed to be here. Emma frowned. Meaning what? They were on a classified mission. Off-grid. No communication. No civilians allowed near them. The fact that they stopped here means something went wrong. Emma's breath caught. Before she could respond, another truck pulled up. A medic jumped out, followed by the same soldier Emma treated. He wasn't wearing a helmet now. Up close, she could see relief wash over his face at the sight of her. Emma, he said softly. I told them. Told them what? She whispered. That you saved us. If you hadn't fed us, warmed us, treated us. He swallowed hard. We wouldn't have survived the night. The officer stepped forward. You broke no law, Miss Hale. But protocol requires we shut down the street to confirm no classified materials were compromised. Emma's knees softened. So, I'm not in trouble? The young soldier shook his head. Actually, you're the reason we're standing here. The reason we're alive. Silence fell. Even the officers looked humbled. Then the young soldier pressed something into her hand, a sealed, official letter. It's from the command, he said. They don't usually do this. Emma opened it with shaking fingers. Inside was a single sentence. Your kindness preserved a mission that protects thousands. You have our eternal gratitude. Tears stung her eyes. The officer saluted her. The soldiers lowered their weapons. And slowly, the trucks began clearing the street. As the last vehicle pulled away, the young soldier turned back one last time. You didn't just save soldiers, he said. You saved the people we were sent to protect. Emma stood alone in the snow, clutching the letter to her chest. She had no idea her small act of kindness would ripple so far, touch so many lives. But that morning, as the sun melted the frost from her diner windows, Emma learned a truth the world often forgets. One warm heart can change the coldest night.